the communist country, and it is. This is where my mission field is in Seoul. It is the capital city of South Korea. So it is located in East Asia, and it occupies position with diverse natural environments and a four-season climate, as the same as in um, America. Um, so there's 100,200 kilometers, square kilometers total, and the land, 70%, the land consists of mountains and hills, and long coastlines with international maritime access, climate type continental and oceanics. Oh, where it is? Where am I going? So I'll give you a little demographic snapshot. Population is 51 million, or 51 to 52, and median age 43 years, urbanized 81%, and their language is called Hangul, or Korean language. And then the religion, majority of the religion, there's no religion, they're agnostic. And our largest religions are Protestant Christianity, 20%, Buddhism, 16%, Catholicism, 10%. And I got the Seventh-day Adventist. We have 268,344 as of June 30, 2025. And there are 700 congregation or churches in South Korea. And so the economic highlights, we have Doosan, Hyundai, LG, Hanjin. That's where they manufacture. Samsung, SK, Komhu, Hyundai, and Kia. And their education system, their knowledge-driven nation, and their literacy rate is 99%, higher education enrollment among the highest within OECD nations. And inside academic pressure remains social challenge, yet globally produces highly skilled professionals. So their students, they're very pressured, and the societal rate is so high because of the competitiveness, and they're knowledge driven. They want to be on top. And so some of the students were pressured, and they just commit suicide. And since they don't know any religion, like 50% of them, they they believe in incarnation. So it's better for them to die because there is life after death. And so this is one of the things I did. Like we did teach the children, and one of my classes, and we also have pathfinding there. And this is the biggest school, SDA academy or school, where Americans, they hired English speakers, native speakers from Australia, America, South Africa, and Europe. Filipinos were not allowed to teach English, but because they need more missionaries, so they use Filipinos to come and teach English, and they call it English Bible teachers or English Bible missionaries. So that's how I got the opportunity to serve South Korea. So this is the school. This is Samyuk University. And this is where I graduated from my master's and my PhD. And I also, so that's the last slide. So South Korea is very, very developed country, and they're very highly educated.
So you can just keep the microphone. Okay. So what led you to become a missionary? What gave you the motivation? What made you teach?
So when I was in the Philippines, after graduating from college, I graduated as Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. But my mother wanted me to become a teacher, but I said no because she was a teacher and I saw her the challenges, after work she has to do more like writing, doing lesson plan and recording their grades. I hate that, and during the summer vacation she doesn't spend time because she's in her classroom doing more work. So I said, no, I don't want to be a teacher. So I ended up business administration. After graduation, I went to look for a job, and that was a very big challenge because um, every time I applied for a job, there was Sabbath. So I said no. So I went back home, and then I met a friend, and he told me that they're training for missionaries to South Korea. And it dawned on me that I think God is calling me to be a missionary.
So that's how you discern that God was calling you into the missionary field. Okay. What did you think of at that time? Your expectations as far as the reality of coming and becoming a missionary. Um, what did you expect?
I thought being a missionary, because I was in the Philippines, going to the mountains, and serving the less fortunate people. But when I went to Korea, I was like, oh wow, what is this? Like, it's so different than what I expected because I it's really very progressive country. And then the second one is the language barrier. I I only know how to say hi in Korean, like 안녕하세요, 감사합니다, something like that. But when I was there, everybody they have zero English. So so that was the challenge. And then reading the Korean letters, it was just so like I don't know what are those. So it was a culture shock at first. So, but then God was with me, and it's easy to learn their language. It's easy to read Korean. So I read Korean fast. I learned it very like quick. So, and the church members are just like elderly. So I helped them, and then they taught me, and they, so I just learned through not formal, informal learning. So that was very fast, but maybe because God was with me.
So how did you develop like relationships with the people that you were there to teach?
The church members, they come Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. We have midweek prayer, vesper, and Sabbath. So I get to just want to make friends with them, and I tried to speak Korean. So when Koreans um, see that you're trying your best to communicate with them, they love it, and so I tried to speak, and so I developed a wonderful relationship with them.
So the people that you interacted with and taught, were they Adventist or of any faith?
No, they were not Adventists. Aside from my students were not Adventists. So the people that I have were church members because I live with a pastor next to the church. So most of the people that I was with were
Were
Adventists.
But the people you taught were not?
Were not.
Okay. Now, did you teach adults and children or just children?
So my I'll just my daily work as a missionary, because they built a school for make the Korean conference. They make English as an avenue to introduce Adventism to the nation, to Korea. So um, the Koreans, they really want to learn English because they want to, as you know, they're knowledge driven. They want to compete, and so they want to learn English because they love to travel as well, so they can speak and they can communicate to other people. And so we have a classroom, and I taught elementary, kinder to elementary. So that was after school. So students goes to school and they finished at 1. So I start my work at 2 until evening. So yeah, so my students, I have 3 classes, 2 to 5, something, 2 to 6, and then I have adult class.
Um, while you taught them, did you teach like Bible classes or English classes or both, or what class is it?
So they don't want us to like Bible, but I integrate Bible. So taught, I teach songs, like, as like Sabbath school, and taught them. We pray, and then I let them memorize memory verse, and then the lesson proper, and I end with a prayer.
So over time, did anybody give their heart to the Lord and get baptized?
Yes, middle schoolers, it was very interesting because um, I served 2 churches. First church, I was there for 3 years, and after my term, we baptized 5 middle school.
Amen. Can you share a story where you clearly saw that God was leading?
I didn't expect anything because they're really, our communication is very poor. And I taught them like hi, hello. We started from hi, hello, how to introduce their name, what's your name. And so, um, but after my term, they give their heart to the Lord, and that was very, very interesting. And God was leading my the work as missionary.
What was one of your most difficult experiences being in the mission field?
The most difficult is the language. So you want to express and they want to tell something, but because of the language, we just use our body
Sign language.
sign or gesture and sit like that, and then point to the chair and then sit down. Like, but we were able to, yeah. At the end, I was able to speak maybe 70%, 50%. Yes, 50 to 70% Korean.
Um, what do you think God had taught you through this journey?
God taught me to be dependent on Him, trust in Him, and be courageous, because wherever you go, have a strong relationship with Him. He will guide you, and He will. And I built that relationship with Him. So wherever I go, don't be afraid, because God will always by your side.
So basically maintain a close relationship with the Lord and prayer. Um, is there a specific Bible verse that sustained you during your mission?
The Bible verse that I always recite when I'm in doubt and when I'm discouraged, just trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not unto your own understanding. And yes.
What advice would you give to someone who feels called to missions?
To those who want to serve, God will always go ahead, do it. God will lead you. Don't be afraid. God will always be on your side, whether it be in our country or outside, and even if there's like language barrier, God will provide the words.
What is one of the most joyful moments that you experienced as a missionary?
Seeing the fruit of your labor, like the baptism, it's really fulfilling.
What do you miss most now that you're not there? You're away from home and away from the mission field. What do you miss most?
In my mission field,
Yeah.
the food,
They have good food?
Korean food, and we don't have it here. Yeah.
Okay.
So
One last question. If you could describe your mission in one sentence, what would it be? One sentence, not a paragraph.
one sentence. Just trust in the Lord. You know, He will guide you, and willing to commit what He wants you, where He wants you to go as a missionary. So.
Amen. So, you know the Bible verse that we went through today about Jesus saying your brothers and your sisters, and who's your brothers and sisters? And throughout my journey, I lost all my family, but God is so good. He has given me a wonderful wife and a wonderful church and wonderful friends. And so it's such a blessing to especially have a wife that's been a missionary. So someday we will probably pursue